I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform and our ongoing Operation Freedom Health and Wellness series with the fantastic Dr. Peter Glidden, one of the top naturopathic physicians in our country, if not the world. The focus of our series has been on the empowerment of you. Now, this is what big medicine, big insurance, big pharma, big government bureaucrats do not want. They want the power to be able to dictate treatment, to dictate care, to dictate a lack of treatment based on what we've been facing the last couple of years. And what Peter and I have done is we have laid out a roadmap of how you don't need any of the above entities that I just mentioned. And what you need are facts and the data that we have provided, products that can help you from a nutritional standpoint, not just to enhance your health and wellness, but prevent in issues, health-related issues, and to, if you will, stabilize the foundation of the God-given health and wellness that you were provided upon your birth. It's that simple. It's about empowerment of you and not the powers that want you to think that they are. Today's presentation is on nutrition, physical activity, and obesity. Now, a little background on Dr. Peter Glidden. As I mentioned, he's one of the top naturopathic physicians in our country, if not the world. In addition, he's a phenomenal researcher on health and wellness. And he is also a fantastic author. 2 books that should be the foundation of your medical library. They are in our home. 2 books, Everybody is Sick and I Know Why, and Attempt to Cure with Holistic Medicine. Now, he has a website, Dr. Glidden, GLIDDEN.com. We also have a website, OperationFreedomHealth.com, where you can gain access to Dr. Glidden's site that way. If you don't want to go to drglidden.com, you can go to OperationFreedomHealth.com and hit the link to his site. In addition, the products mentioned in our presentations are available. There's no sense talking about entities that can help you and not have you have the availability to be able to get them to enhance your own health and wellness and to prevent unnecessary harm to your body. And the proceeds of purchase of those items do go to OperationFreedomHealth.com. That allows us to continue with our efforts in bringing that information to you on this platform. It's my honor to welcome back Dr. Peter Glidden. His books, Attempt to Cure with Holistic Medicine and Everybody is Sick and I Know Why, available on his website as well as Amazon. It's my honor to welcome back our friend, Dr. Peter Glidden. Peter, welcome back to the Operation Freedom Health and Platform.
Thanks, Dave. Chipping away at ignorance and misdirection and propaganda, which seem to be very prominent, starting right around World War II up until now, and it's getting worse and worse every year. It's important. This platform is important because none of this information, although it's true, although it's factual, although it's science-based and clinically verified, by the way, is available through the mainstream. It's just shut out completely. And we know this begs the question, well, who made the FDA king? Who made the FTC king? Well, something needs to change here.
Well, let's change some more lives to the positive, Pete.
All right.
Let's talk about nutrition, physical activity, and obesity.
Wow. Talk about
3 big topics.
Yeah. Come on, man. One of the biggest myths that is perpetrated in the medical industry. And by the way, while we have been under the control of the pharmaceutical industry since 1912, weight gain has skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
It's right around 42% now of adults and children are not just overweight, but they're obese.
Mm-hmm.
And this trend has been increasing every year. It hasn't flatlined. It's been increasing. And all while the pharmaceutical industry is holding sway over all things having to do with medicine, not just in the country, but everywhere around the world. And so even if you don't agree with the facts that I'm presenting, and you should agree with the facts because it's the facts, ma'am, just the facts. But even if you just, there's too much cognitive dissonance in your brain to get that, what I'm saying, to accept that, one fact is blatantly clear. While we have been following the directions of the pharmaceutical industry, we're getting much fatter and much sicker. Life expectancy is getting shorter. Alzheimer's is through the roof. Autism is through the roof. And it's not because of chemtrails, which are real, by the way. It's not because you have a bad gene. Mm-hmm. It's because of misdirected, on-purpose propaganda. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it stands out in boldface with weight loss, and it's not rocket science why people gain weight. One of the biggest myths around weight loss is that you have to exercise, that one of the factors in people gaining weight is they're just couch potatoes, they don't exercise enough, and that's complete horse hockey. In 1917, by the way, in Vox.com, they did an expose of 60 published studies, over 60 plus, I think it was 63 published studies, that proved there was no relationship or very little relationship between exercise and weight loss. University of Alabama obesity researcher David Allison summed up all of the research this way: adding physical activity has a very modest effect on weight loss, a lesser effect than you'd mathematically predict, he said. Mm-hmm. One 2009 study showed that people seemed to increase their food intake after exercise, either because they thought they burned off a lot of calories or simply because they were hungrier. And long story short, exercise has little or nothing to do with weight loss and little or nothing to do with why you gain weight in the first place. It's a complete misdirection.
So a friend of mine went to their doc recently, their family doc, and a friend of mine had gained some weight and said to the doc, look, I'm gaining weight here. And, I'm eating organic stuff. I'm really not cheating. I kept actually a food log here. And here's how much physical activity I do and exercise. And I log that, and here you go. But I've gained significant weight since I was here a year ago. And I said, okay, well, what'd your doc say? And my doc said that I need to exercise more, and I need to eat even more organic stuff.
No, it's complete nonsense. The doctor might as well tell them to wear red sneakers to lose weight.
Pete, of all the people that are watching this video, if they would pose that question to their doc, over 95% of them probably would get that same answer. So yeah. What would be, now my buddy, he's coming to Dr. Glidden.
Yeah.
With the same statement. What does Dr. Glidden tell him?
Remember Auschwitz. And think about cattle farmers. I bet you didn't think I was going to say that.
No.
Here's the deal. I mean, it's not rocket science. There was nobody in Auschwitz or any of the other death camps of World War II that were overweight. There's nobody. It didn't matter what their race, their age, their sex, their pre-existing medical history. It didn't matter. They're all unbelievably underweight because they didn't eat. So the single biggest driving factor behind weight gain is eating too many calories. And also pharmaceutical drugs will, like anti-inflammatories, one of the side effects, I don't know if you've ever known anybody that's been on prednisone for more than 3 months, but they blow up like a blueberry because one of the side effects of the anti-inflammatories, the corticosteroids, is production of body fat, but that's a drug effect. Most people have weight gain simply because they eat too many calories. And this begs the question, well, why do they eat too many calories? Well, your medical doctor will tell you it's a psychological reason. You know, you had a bad relationship with your mother, you had a bad relationship with your father, or whatever.
Or you have a bad gene.
Or you have a bad gene, the fat gene.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. Because if there was, in fact, a gene that coded for obesity, then there would be less and less people with it, because natural selection would deselect those people from the herd. But nobody talks about that, thinks that one through. So cattle ranchers have known how to manage this in their cattle for decades. So if you're raising a beef cow, I think the average lifespan of a beef cow is 4 or 5 years, and then you send it out, sell it to market to slaughter. So if you were to keep that cow as fat as it and as big as it is the whole 5 years of its life as it is when you sell it, the farmer wouldn't be able to afford that because it's too much food. So what do? And also the cow would get sick, and you'd have veterinarian bills, and it'd be a problem. So cattle ranchers put mineral supplements in with the food that they give their cattle for the first 4.5 years of their life. When the cow's body is nutrified with the minerals that it eats in the food, it will walk up to the food trough, it will eat until it's full, and then it'll walk away. Because it's mineralized and it's satisfied and it's sated, and the brain knows it's had enough.
Mm-hmm.
So the cow maintains a healthy body weight, and they don't get sick because they're not overweight and they're mineralized, and all chronic disease is directly related to chronic or unrecognized mineral deficiencies. So the cow's pretty good, the farmer's happy, everybody's happy, and now it's time to sell the cow to market. So for 3 or 4 months before the cow goes to market, the farmer just stops putting the minerals in with the cow's food. So in a couple of weeks, the cow's body burns through its mineral reserves. Now the cow is minerally deficient.
Mm-hmm.
And when an animal or a human being is minerally deficient, they develop a behavior that's called pica.
Mm.
So animals will just eat anything that they can. They'll eat dirt, they'll eat rocks, they'll eat stones, they'll eat the wood on the fence. And in the case of the beef cow, they will eat all of the food in the trough and then look for more.
Mm-hmm.
Because the brain knows that you're minerally deficient, and it's sending a message to you to eat,
Mm-hmm.
to
Fill the tank.
fill the
tank.
nutrients, fill the tank. But the food that you're eating
Doesn't have it.
doesn't have what you need. It's basically empty calories. So the cow eats and eats and eats and triples its body weight in 3-4 months, and then they sell it to market, and everybody's happy. Exactly the same thing happens in human beings. People will be really hungry. They'll go to Olive Garden or, Red Lobster or Outback Steakhouse, and they'll eat 2,500 calories in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and then they go home, and 3 hours later they're hungry again. Mm-hmm. How can that possibly be? Because the food that they're eating doesn't have the nutrients that the body needs in order to fix itself, in order to maintain its health. The body knows this, so the appetite is always on, always telling you need to eat more. And if you did not know this one data point, and you were just objectively looking at your behavior as someone who's obese or even moderately overweight, you would legitimately think that maybe you had a psychological problem, because you just can't stop eating.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I do have a psychological problem. Maybe I am depressed. Maybe I do have a bad gene. Maybe I do have unresolved parental issues, because I can't flip and stop eating. The reason that people can't stop eating is because their bodies are undermineralized,
Mm-hmm.
period. And because of that, they're consuming way too many calories.
Mm-hmm.
So the solution, it's easy. You do what the farmer does, the beef cattle rancher does. You put the minerals into your body.
Mm-hmm.
And you stop eating food that causes inflammation. Because one of the side effects of chronic inflammation, whether it's drug-induced or food-induced or whatever induced, is your body generates cortisol, which increases the production of body fat. It's just a metabolic thing. So you eliminate foods that are causing inflammation. You nutrify your body with minerals so that the body is saturated with minerals. And then you get hungry, you go to Olive Garden, you order the 2,500 calories, you eat a third of it, you're full,
Take the rest
you
home.
stop eating, and you take the rest home in a doggy bag. And when people follow this simple method, no extra exercise, no extra water intake, no central nervous system stimulating herbs, right, or caffeine, you'll lose about a pound a week, more or less, when people do this. And then after your body's gotten used to being mineralized, if you're not happy with your weight loss and you would like to accelerate the weight loss, then you simply have to count calories. And the magic number seems to be 1,400 calories a day if you really want to accelerate weight loss. Now, attempting a limited calorie diet in an undernutrified body,
Forget it.
yeah, you can do it for maybe 3 months.
Yeah, and it's just going to get bounced back.
Yeah, and that's why Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and all those weight loss programs ultimately fail. It's because you can steel your will for a couple of months, but Mother Nature's knocking. Because your body mind knows you're undernutrified and you are never going to win that fight. So you'll lose 30 pounds maybe if you're lucky. And then you wake up in the middle of the night, you just can't handle the stress anymore, can't handle the inner anxiety anymore. So you raid the fridge, you start eating like a maniac, and you gain all 30 pounds back plus 5 more. And then you actually do start to think to yourself, well, maybe I do have a bad gene, maybe I am depressed, I don't know what the heck, because I tried, couldn't do it. You couldn't do it because you're missing this one data point. I mean, it's like, trying to sail around the world and not knowing about currents in the ocean. It's going to be really hard. So this is our simple solution. You eliminate the 12 bad foods. You fill up your body's tank with the 90 essential nutrients plus extra minerals. And then you're good to go. And if you would then like to accelerate that in a month or two.
After you're nutrified and your mineralization is up, then you come in with the cutting calories back on a gradual basis.
100%. And there is a danger lurking in the background of this whole weight loss thing.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about.
So you mentioned about inflammatory foods. You have done a video. It's free. It's on OperationFreedomHealth.com at the very top, called The 12 Bad Foods.
Yeah.
That's point one. Point two is the minerals and the 90 essential nutrients are part of what's called the Foundation Pack, and they are available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. And why don't you just give folks the components of the Foundation Pack so that they're knowledgeable about, okay, Foundation Pack, this is what's in it, this is what gets me nutrified, this is what gets me my minerals where I need to be.
Yeah, so the Foundation Pack is a combination of 4 different nutritional supplements. One is a multivitamin. It's got some minerals in it. It's got a lot of antioxidants. It's got amino acids in it. Has some other good stuff in it that upregulates your immune system. And it's called Beyond Tangy Tangerine Nutritional Powder. It's a powder that you add to water or juice, stir it up, drink it down, you're good to go. Your body's vitaminized. Another part of the Foundation Pack is a white liquid calcium and magnesium supplement. There's a couple of other things in it, but calcium and magnesium are the major players. And the way that this particular calcium supplement is manufactured makes it way more absorbable than any other calcium supplement I've ever seen. And this is a really big deal when it comes to minerals or any vitamin supplement or herbal supplement. You have to be able to absorb it. Your body has to be able to assimilate it. Or, you're just wasting your money, for goodness sakes. It goes in one end and comes out the other, and that's no good. So the white liquid calcium supplement that's super absorbable is called Beyond Osteo FX. It's the second part of the Foundation.
And that also comes as a powder, correct?
It does. It comes in liquid or powder.
Okay.
I prefer the liquid, but there isn't really any difference therapeutically between the two. It's kind of whatever floats your boat.
Same composition.
Yeah. The third component is a fish oil supplement called Prohoba Omega, which provides your body with omega-3 and with omega-3 if you're an adult, essential fatty acids. You don't need omega-6 essential fats as an adult because there's plenty of it in the food that you're eating, unless you're a vegetarian. And the fourth and most important in this conversation component is a bottle of liquid plant-derived minerals. And the plant-derived mineral is the preferred form of a mineral for the human body. You know, if you went to the White Cliffs of Dover, it's all calcium carbonate. If you dug it, calcium carbonate up and took it home and purified it and ground it up and stuck it in a capsule and swallowed it, you would maybe, if you're lucky, be able to absorb about 10% of it if you're lucky. But if you put that calcium carbonate in the soil and grow a plant on it, like a tomato, when the plant sucks the mineral up, it changes the composition of the mineral and it goes into the tomato. And then you eat the tomato, you absorb 100% of that calcium. A plant-derived mineral is nature's way to get minerals into the human body. And this liquid bottle, that's the fourth part of the foundation pack, is 100% organic plant-derived minerals. So it doesn't get any better than that. So if you are attempting weight loss, I would probably get 3 bottles of minerals a month. Get 1 bottle of everything else a month. Get 3 bottles of minerals a month. Just start sucking that stuff down, and you will be amazed at how quickly your appetite reduces.
So with the mineral, so someone that says, okay, I'm going to get this foundation pack. I'm going to do to stop the 12 bad foods. I'm going to do the foundation pack. Oh, minerals. I'm going to get extra minerals. How many tablespoons of that a day do the people take on average?
Well, the recommendation for maintenance is 1 bottle of the minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. But that's a broad recommendation. And, you know, different people have different metabolic rates, different ages. They're taking different pharmaceuticals. They got a whole bunch of different things going on in their body. So, you know, there's no crystal ball that will let me know what Joe or Jane or Harry or Larry needs. But we have to start somewhere and then increase or decrease the dose. But because everybody, and by everybody, I mean everybody, because everybody is demineralized. It's better to err on the side of excess than on the side of not enough. And you would be hard pressed to hurt yourself with overdosing with these minerals. I mean, I don't even think it's humanly possible. So, 3 bottles, and they're inexpensive too. It's if you bought the standalone plant-derived minerals, I think it's $21 per 1 ounce or per 32 ounces. So it's a very inexpensive product. It's easy to add more to the foundation pack and not break the bank, which is my recommendation when you begin. Do at least 3 bottles of the minerals.
And tell me if I'm wrong, Pete, but these plant-derived minerals are from a specific source, and so you're not going to get the same thing if you go, I'm just going to go to the grocery store and look for minerals. I'm going to go to the health food store and just get a bottle of minerals. Educate our listeners on these plant-derived minerals that we recommend, because there's a huge difference. It's the difference between a Cadillac and a Hugo.
Yeah, it is. Or, all wine is made from grapes, right? But there's a pretty big difference between Annie Boone Springs and Chateau Neuf du Pape. Big difference. What's the difference? Well, where do the grapes come from? How are they made? How are they manufactured? It's the same with minerals. The minerals that are part of the foundation pack are extracted from a historical deposit of humic shale in southwestern Utah. And millennia ago, the shale started as giant plants in the dinosaur days, when there was like 3 times the amount of oxygen that was in the air. It's one of the reasons why everything was bigger, plants and animals. A lot of people don't know that. And also, the soil was saturated with minerals from all of the volcanic activity and the natural erosion of the rivers coming down the mountains, emptying into the lakes. And then you've got a concentration of minerals, and you've got all these giant dinosaur plants that are 100% replete with all the minerals. Then the asteroid or the comet hits the Earth. There's a big cloud over the planet for who knows how long. All the animals die, all the plants die. And when plants decompose, they go through different levels of decomposition, right? It turns into muck and then peat moss, and then I think the next level is humic shale, and then the next level below that is coal. And petroleum is in there somewhere also. But in this particular geographical location, the transformation of the plant into coal and petroleum was stopped at the humic shale level because of geological activity in the area. So you've got all this humic shale, which is like mostly plant-derived minerals. And it's an amazing thing when this stuff is super crumbly. I've been to the mine twice, and you can just stick your hand in the side of the mountain and grab a fistful of the humic shale. And if you put that in like a quart of water, the minerals actually rise to the top of the rock, and it looks like the rock is blooming. And initially, when this company manufactured these products, the name of this product was Blooming Minerals because of it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and there's this super saturated plant-derived, 100% organic minerals in the best form for absorption of the human body. If I was only allowed by law to sell one supplement, to recommend one supplement, it would be that. Because minerals are 66% of your body's nutrient needs.
Yes, exactly.
There's one more important point that I need to point out real quick. There's a lot of toxic crap in the world that we're exposed to, whether we think we are or not. I mean, they've done studies with umbilical cord blood from babies still in the womb that's loaded with all these chemicals. I mean, like fire retardant and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff in the human body. And when bad stuff goes into the human body, what the human body does is sticks it away in fatty tissue because it doesn't want to die. So when you go on a weight loss program aggressively, you burn fat by hook or by crook, and then you release into your bloodstream all these nasty chemicals. And they ultimately go into the liver, and it's the liver's job to neutralize these and detoxify them. And that liver has two steps that it does that, phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification, both of which demand nutrients to work. But if you're nutritionally deficient and you go on a weight loss program aggressively without the minerals, you're going to burn fat. You're going to liberate this toxic crap. It's going to go into the liver. Your liver won't be able to deconstruct it because it doesn't have the stuff it needs to deconstruct it. So then you're going to get sick. I had a guy that I knew. He was a super born-again Christian. This was before I knew anything about any of this. I was in pre-med, I think. He went into the woods like Jesus for 40 days and did a water fast. And he actually did it. And I think like 6 weeks later, he got leukemia.
Boom.
And that's why...
Couldn't clear the toxins.
Couldn't clear the toxins. Didn't know about it. Didn't know anything about it. Whatever. So if you're going to even think about losing weight, you're going to burn fat. Your body needs to be nutrified, or you're going to hurt yourself.
Right.
So this program, it's like 2 for 1. Because not only is your appetite going to decrease and you will lose weight, but you're not going to be hurt in the process.
Right.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Educate our listeners, Pete, on how they can follow you and how they can get access to your books and your other great content.
Just look up at the moon and think about Dr. Glidden, and I will appear.
And howl.
Go to OperationFreedomHealth.com, find my picture, and click on it.
There you go.
You'll be taken directly to my website, where you will have immediate access to hundreds of hours of instructional videos that I have put together based on 33 years of clinical experience that give you my interpretation, my advice about what to do to get your body into the game of healing, regardless of what your health condition is. I also deconstruct myths like Salt is not bad for you. Salt is actually good and necessary. Cholesterol is not bad for you. Cholesterol is good and necessary. I tell you how to detoxify safely. I tell you the whole weight loss thing. I tell you a lot of things on this website that you're not going to find in the mainstream. And the strength of my information is that it's a function of over 3 decades of clinical work, not just myself, but my colleagues as well. This is the stuff that we have actually seen work in clinical setting. This is not theoretical. This is not, the latest and greatest research that was funded by a vitamin company. That's not this. This is actual clinical stuff, really great information that you need to know about. Check it out.
Pete, I'd like to thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. I'd like to thank you folks for joining us. We hope that you'll utilize this information, and we hope you'll also share it with every person you know and love, because I can assure you they have not received this message that we provided today and information from any other source. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.